So the question is about removing people. I mean, look, the Constitution allows the governor to remove under certain criteria. It's not something that I do lightly. I mean, people bring me the kind of the goods, because I'll go around and people be like, hey, remove this person, remove this person. Well, it's like, you don't like somebody, that's not necessarily fitting with the Constitution. So give me the goods. And so, for example, we've done that when I became governor. I had promised in the campaign, that we were going to bring accountability for the Parkland failures by the Broward County Sheriff. So we removed the sheriff that, and the Senate eventually upheld that. We did the same with some of the supervisors of elections in South Florida, and lo and behold, we now have very, very well-run elections. So that was necessary, and then we have had to do from time to time. And so the question is if there's conduct that merits that, well, that goes without saying, we can do that. But I think the intent is to get the people the answers. We expect compliance with these subpoenas, and then we'll be able to go from there. But what I want is for the process, the authority that's been put in place in law, both with CFO and state government, to just be respected and honored. I mean, we have these debates. I get it. Look, there can be some friction. I mean, Florida politically now is like a big red peninsula with some blue dots, right? Orlando's one of the blue dots. Gainesville's one of the blue dots, and that's fine. But the reality is when you do debate these things and put this stuff into law, the ability to conduct these audits, the ability, or actually the mandate for DOT to keep the streets clear of markings or messaging or graffiti, that's just, the people have spoken on that. I think Broder and his colleagues passed that unanimously in the Florida Senate. I signed it in the law. If I sign it in the law, how could I then say, well, you can do this, you can do that? Because then you end up having to adjudicate, well, that message is fine, and that's not what we're doing. We wanted to get out of that business, and I think that's right. Now, some of the local governments who are not necessarily on state roads, I have to see, I know Key West is coming up, Delray Beach. There may have been one or two others who basically just said, we're not going to comply or whatever. Guys, we're going to get it done. We're going to follow the law, and it's going to end up, so you can do it the easy way, you can do it the hard way. That's really up to you. I mean, there's obviously certain parts where anytime a state does something, there's a desire to kind of virtue signal, and I think we're seeing that in some of those jurisdictions. But the reality is we have this authority. We have the DOGE authority. So let's get the facts. Let's let taxpayers know. I mean, I do think, just on the face of some of the things Blaise said, you went from what, $1 billion to $1.6 billion for the thing, almost $600 million increase in the last 5 years. Now, there may be folks that will show, hey, that was absolutely necessary. Okay, let's have that debate as Floridians. Because what I would say is I would have preferred property tax relief and then mitigating that. Now, there's, like I said, the state government, we've had to put in more money for projects because the costs went up. So I'm not saying that there was no increases that have been imposed through the inflation, but that's a significant increase, and especially in counties that haven't had a net population gain. Orange has had a net population gain. Broward has not, and yet their budget went up 60%. So we want to do right by taxpayers. I mean, that's what this is all about.